Hello and welcome to another Modern Commerce Talks from Avensia. I'm delighted to be joined again today by Daniel Kassman, marketplaces expert. Hi Daniel.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and as ever, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm your host, Jack Stratton from Insider Trends. So we've chatted to Daniel before about marketplaces, and we'll be talking many times again. Today though, I want to look at things from the seller's perspective, or sellers looking at finding the right marketplaces or joining marketplaces. Some of the things that they might consider. So let's see if we can just cover maybe some of the kind of fundamentals of starting selling on a marketplace. And I guess first, Daniel, what's your view on, are there any tips on how to choose the kind of right marketplace? Anything that comes to mind?
I think it's very much depending on what industry you're in, but if you can find a marketplace that has a slightly different demographic profile that perhaps you have in your own channels, that could be an advantage, because you want to go, if you go on a marketplace to gain volume on your products, it's you go there to have the reach, and you go there to get access to the huge amounts of traffic that marketplace have. So if you don't have that much overlap in the demographic profile versus your own channels, that's a good thing, because that will increase your reach. So that's, I think, one thing to think about when it comes to demographic profile.
Yeah, and typically from your view, how else, beyond some of the obvious points, how else can marketplaces kind of help aspiring sellers? What might be the attraction of certain marketplaces when they're kind of looking to scale or go in a different direction?
Well, I think if you have your own sort of plan on, for example, international expansion, that is something that you have to consider when choosing which platforms you want to work with. So because marketplaces could be a fairly easy and risk-free way to international expansion. So find a marketplace platform that actually are in line with your own expansion plans, and use them to sort of test how that market will respond to your products. That will give you some insights onto how to do your own expansion in a more exact and precise way. So that's one way of doing it.
And then, going back, I guess, to kind of the beginning of this. So I'm a seller, and I've identified a marketplace that I might want to join. What then are maybe just a couple of things that I should be thinking about straight away that are kind of must-haves to get in order for, getting ready for that marketplace?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that can be sort of ruin the scale of using a marketplace as a sales channel is not having your product data in order, not having an integration made for that specific platform. So maybe you sit and you paste product data from one Excel sheet to another. You have a manual upload of that product information, and the manual upload of your prices and your stock, and that will give you a lot of administrative work that is simply possible. It's possible to take that away and automate that flow, because you already have the information in your PIM system. You already have the prices and the stock in your ERP system or whatever you have them. So to have a technical solution that supports your marketplace sales channel is very important to make it scalable.
Yeah, and I guess that becomes all the more important as you enter new marketplaces that might have their own rules, and internationally as well, of course, that would be a whole different thing.
Exactly, and I think in that sort of, on that same subject, that I think it's important to also evaluate the technical aspects of this platform. And the rules, and how is it possible even to connect to an API, or is it only an Excel upload? it's worth to evaluate that as well.
Yeah. Do you find, so there's just a kind of a slight tangent, but I'm interested. So from the point of tech platforms as a seller, do you find most of the big platforms that people are, joining across Europe, the big ones at the moment, are they pretty good these days in terms of simple integrations? Is that, I guess some sellers will be worried about how much work there is from that side of things.
Yeah.
From your experience, is that a big headache, or is it normally not too bad?
Well, it's not a big headache. They all have the possibility to integrate with your own PIM system, ERP system, so you have the possibility. I think that once you uploaded your first products and you see that the orders are coming in, you have to go quite fast from that to actually building an integration if you're serious about this sales channel, or else someone in your organization will have a headache administrating this the sales and the products, and you're not really using the power of the marketplace in a correct way by doing it that way. So the big marketplaces all have technical solutions to solve this. Yes.
No, that's great. And I think that leads me nicely to maybe a kind of final question. I guess the big one and a lot of thing on people's minds, pricing. What kind of any tips from a pricing point of view for a seller?
I think it's very important to think about your pricing strategy, because say for instance that you're selling products that could be exposed to competition on a marketplace from other sellers, and you're also selling them in your own channels. It's very important to have a strategy on how to price these products in order not to have a channel conflict in any way. I mean, one way could be to actually have different assortments on different marketplaces, depending on the profile of the marketplace. So you do an evaluation of the profile, you look at the target audience, and you set a separate assortment for that marketplace. You have another one for another marketplace, and then you won't have any price competition between the different marketplaces. And also you have a different assortment for your own channels. That's one way of solving it, but it really depends on the products that you're selling, I would say. But it's important to be aware of that the pricing could be an issue if you don't have a plan for it.
Yeah, that seems to, I totally understand. That's the big thing, isn't it? Just having a very clear strategy, not just kind of falling into the marketplace without considering that and having the same prices and creating problems.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Daniel, thanks so much. Brilliant tips for any sellers, and of course, I guess the final tip would be for businesses and sellers who are a bit more ambitious, who have a certain size, then they also can start to consider the option of creating their own marketplace, which I keep on seeing. More and more brands, even sometimes surprisingly, maybe slightly smaller retailers than you might think, are starting to do that, which is really exciting, I think.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and all of these marketplaces will need excellent sellers. So whether you start a marketplace or you sell on one, I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and I know in the UK there's a big thing about, there's a big thing of these marketplaces kind of fostering a sort of community of lots of small independent businesses, which is great. I think there's a lot of good stuff happening that way. So hopefully we can explore that again in the future. And of course, anyone watching this who's interested in going deeper into marketplaces and what that might mean in your strategy, then Daniel is your man. So get in touch with Avensia. You'll find Daniel online, and also some other talks and perhaps pieces that he's written on the website. Dan, thanks so much again for finding the time.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll be back with another one again soon. Thanks very much.
Bye.